Yeah, my previous tier list is very outdated at this point, so I've decided to make a new one. If there's anyone that was wondering where I've been the last 20 days, I've just been a little bit bored of the game because I played it so much. I have almost 1,000 wins. And also, like if you can't tell by the fact that my voice sounds insanely strange, my mic broke. That kind of sucks. I'm using a weird mic right now, so sorry if it sounds weird. Anyway, I'll start with Pestilence. You win. If you're Pestilence, you won. The Pestilence's win condition is becoming Pestilence. There's technically only one way to lose as him, and that's getting bitten by a vampire, and then having the vampires lose, but that's not going to happen. You have 2,000 HP, you would have to let the vampires kill you and bite you, because they barely do damage, and you two-shot them. And that's really all I have to say about Pestilence. I guess I can also say he has 2,000 HP and does 80 damage a hit, when the average roll has like 100 to 150 HP, so he pretty much two-shots most rolls in the game. And there's not really any roll that would two-shot him other than like a 7-kill Juggernaut. Anyway, after him is Blackmailer. Not getting it confused this time. That's Blackmailer, not Framer. I'll put him in C tier. Maybe D, but I'll put him in C tier. Blackmailer is a very simple role. He can see whispers, and he can stop people from talking during the day. That's all he does. Now, seeing whispers can be very useful if people are scared to claim publicly when someone pushes them, so they whisper like, "Hey, I'm Jailor." But other than that, blocking someone from speaking can only really be useful if there's like a confirmed investigator. That's pretty much it. Or I guess if someone was hard pushing you yesterday, you could blackmail them, and this is a Roblox game, so people are probably going to forget that you were getting pushed yesterday. Blackmailer is just too situational, and there's literally just a better version of Blackmailer that, I guess Extortionist can't see whispers, but seeing whispers is kind of mediocre. It's not completely useless, but people usually don't whisper unless they're like a guardian angel or something anyway. Now, Bodyguard, he gets 400 HP when he's visiting, 500 HP when he's staying home, but you're usually not going to do that unless it's a werewolf game, and a full moon, obviously. His hits do 2 to 5 damage. I'm not certain how much. It's probably not 5 damage, because if it was 5 damage, you could probably kill someone, because that would only take 20 hits to kill a normal person. But yeah, he's just a very middling role. He's not bad, but he's not overpowered. Unless you have like 3 bodyguards. In that case, yeah, okay, well, good luck. If town has 3 bodyguards, town sucks if they lose. Unless they get unbelievably unlucky. 3 bodyguards is kind of overpowered because they just have to cooperate, and no one will die ever. But on its own, it's just a decent roll. It ragdolls people when it hits them. I think it takes 2 to 3 hits before you ragdoll people usually. But it's pretty good stun, only beaten by Magician stun and Bounty Hunter stun. I don't know if there's anyone else that does a better stun. Probably is, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Oh wait, yeah, obviously Trapper. But yeah, it's just a decent town protect. Well, I guess it's actually one of the best town protects, because town protects suck, but whatever. Vampire. The faction disguised as a neutral killing. It's just peak. It has 150 HP, I believe. It might be 125. It doesn't matter. Either way, it can survive a headshot from Vigilante and a headshot from Veteran, which is massive, because it means it takes 3 body shots from either of them to kill them as well. And obviously its biggest thing is it can bite people, which gives you claim space, and it gives you voting power, and it also, just gives you more power during the night. You visit more places. This isn't a neutral killing. This is a faction. It even gets the faction winning animation when you win. And that's why it's the best neutral killing, because it's not a neutral killing. Neutral killings kind of suck. This role, this role is broken. It's a neutral killing with claim space and voting power. That's insanely overpowered, especially in casual. Actually, no. Well, whatever. It's just as good as... I guess it is slightly better in casual than ranked because claim space sucks in casual, so getting better claim space is really good for an evil. That's why Janitor and Forger are way more overpowered in casual than they are in ranked, even though they are both really good in ranked as well. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's not an unpopular opinion to say that Vampire is by far the best neutral killing. Like, it's not even a contest. I would say it's the best neutral, but there's one other, and there's also technically Pestilence, but that doesn't really count. It's Plaguebearer. Anyway, yeah, there is one neutral that's definitely better than Vampire. Two if you count Pestilence. And it's definitely not Outlaw that I'm talking about. Outlaw's a normal neutral killing. Its gun, I don't know how much damage its gun does. Probably like 15 damage a shot. I couldn't tell you. I don't think it's 20. It's a machine gun, to those of you that don't know, so it shoots pretty fast. It just kind of sucks. Guns in this game are questionable, so single shooting guns are way better than something like a machine gun. Honestly, it's just better to use all of your ammo and swap to the bat, which, if you run out of ammo on your gun, you get a bat. The bullets for the gun carry over between nights. He got buffed recently, so you don't have to wait a night to get the bat. You immediately get the bat after using all your bullets now. It's a good buff. I don't know if I'd put it in C tier, though. I guess the fact that it's not the worst neutral killing means I should probably put it in C tier. But neutral killings are garbage. They're all going to go in C tier and D tier, except for two of them. Spoilers, I guess. He also gets 200 HP, so 4 body shots from a veteran, Godfather, or Vigilante, or 2 headshots from one of them. Any of them, anyway. Which is pretty massive, but realistically, a Godfather is going to murder an Outlaw in a fight. Anyway, next is Jester. Now, where did I put him last time? I apparently put him in B tier last time, so it's only fair I put him in A tier now, because he got buffed. In fact, he's not good enough to be an S tier, but this man got a massive buff. He used to be a very mediocre neutral benign, which is still a good role, because neutral benigns are really good, but now, after his buff, he's insane, because, you see, to those of you that only play Town of Salem, in this game, when you are voting someone up, it does not tell anyone who's voting who. So, Jester got a buff in this game where he can vote himself up. It wouldn't make sense in Town of Salem because everyone would see that and instantly know it's a Jester, because obviously. But in Bloxston history, it means you can vote yourself at the start, and everyone else is just going to start voting you as well. Then you can claim the most suspicious cap ever. Hey man, someone else claimed Bounty Hunter? Well then claim Bounty Hunter. Immediately get CC'd. Or just don't claim. I mean, this is Bloxston mystery. People are going to guilty you. Especially since Jester in this game cannot haunt abstains, which is a massive buff from Town of Salem, because it means if someone thinks it's a Jester, they're not going to innocent, they're going to abstain. So it's way easier to vote the Jester out. That plus the fact that he can push himself, he's just at a really good role, honestly. I cannot put him in S tier because just another neutral benign that's just way better than Jester. But he probably is going to be at the top of A tier. He got such a massive buff being able to push himself, because it is not hard to act suspicious after you've pushed yourself. He has 100 HP and he can visit as well. So, watch out. You might walk into a veteran night one. That'd be pretty dangerous because he'd 2-shot you. Or 1-shot you if he hits your head. Anyway, Godfather, 150 HP. He has the most overpowered weapon in the game. I'll put him behind Jester, though. He's in a faction, so, he's a group of 4. He can visit, unless he's a Mafioso. And, yeah, back to his gun being the best weapon in the game. It can shoot very fast. It does 50 damage on body shot and 100 on headshot. It's just broken. It can melt almost anyone, except for, like, a Pestilence or a Werewolf or, like, a 10-kill Juggernaut. Like, even a Bodyguard. If the Godfather is even slightly decent at the game, he will massacre that Bodyguard instantly. Bodyguard only has 400 HP. It's not that hard to just aim at his legs. If you release an entire clip into his legs, he dies. Well, at least he's supposed to. That's supposed to do 400 damage. Oh, wait, does he have 12 bullets a clip? I don't know. He has 8 or 12. Either way, I mean, if it's 12, you definitely are going to murder that Bodyguard. And unlike Vigilante, Godfather's ammo, I mean, unlike Vigilante and Outlaw and Enforcer, Godfather's ammo does not carry over. He gets a brand new set of ammo every night. And he has no limit to how many times he can visit. Obviously, he would be pretty garbage if he did. Since, you know, he's a Mafia role. Mafia needs all the help they can get. They only have a couple good roles. 4. They have like 5 good roles, actually, not 4. Which sounds like a lot, but they also have a lot of the worst roles in the game, so meh. And next is Necromancer. He has 100 HP, but when he's using his ability, he's immortal. Though he can only use his ability 2 nights in a row, then he has to recharge for a night. I'll put him at the... I don't know. Yeah, I'll put him at the bottom of A tier. He used to be like in C tier because it used to be that he could not use any role cleaned by Medusa. You know, the most powerful Coven role. Yeah, luckily they changed that. I'm pretty sure they changed that. So he can use roles that have been turned to stone, which is really nice. It's very easy to fake a role. Like, hey man, let's say Medusa cleans a Distractor. You could literally just fake Distractor as Necromancer. Someone wants you to prove it? Okay. Use the Distractor corpse that has been turned to stone and distract someone. Boom, you're proved. I mean, confirmed. Yeah, it's a pretty good role. I remember I've faked roles that way a couple of times myself, and it usually works. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work, but it usually does. He is a pretty good role. People like to call him garbage because they're comparing him to Witch, which he could have been. But he's still a really good role, especially with all the buffs he's gotten. Or buff, he only got 1 buff, but he's literally immortal during the night, so, you know, that's a pretty good thing. Speaking of best role in the game, best Coven role in the game, I'll put him above Vampire because he starts with a faction. He also gets the claim space that Vampire gets, you know, by turning people to stone. He does a lot of damage. I don't actually know how much damage he does. Actually, I can go look it up right now. So some Grandmaster person told me they do 25 damage a hit, which is less than I thought, but, you know, he still insta-kills you if you have 1/3 or less. So, I mean, technically speaking, Medusa can do over 3,000 damage in a hit if he hit a werewolf that was at 1/3 HP or less. And also, let's not even mention Medusa's self-gaze, which he can only do once a game, though he can visit infinitely, because it's pretty much like he has the Necronomicon in this game. But he can only self-gaze once. However, anyone that visits him dies. It does infinite damage. Technically speaking, a werewolf respawns after dying, but he does die. He reaches 0 HP. He turns to stone. Or, well, his eyes turn to stone. His fur, sadly, doesn't. I think it would look kind of cool, but sadly, they didn't do that. And, of course, Retributionist and Necromancer would survive it, too, because they're immortal during the night. Even if they die, they just come back because they're controlling a corpse. But yeah, Medusa cleaning roles just gives his Coven so much claim space. It's just such a good role. Medusa alone makes Coven like just better than Mafia. Okay, well, maybe not to that extreme, but Medusa is one of the main reasons that Coven's definitely better than Mafia. Veteran... Well, Veteran has the same gun as Godfather, same HP as Godfather, 150 HP, OP gun, but he can only alert 3 times. He can't visit. He only gets the 150 HP when he's alerting. Veteran might kill 1 person, and then no one will ever visit him again because he's the Veteran. You should not visit that man. I died to a Veteran night 8. Just never visit that man. Wait until you get majority and vote that man off. Just don't risk it. I visited him night 8 as an ambusher and died. Who saves an alert to night 8? Anyway, yeah, no, that was a case of Veteran actually doing something, but Veteran usually doesn't get to do anything. He usually has wasted all of his alerts by night 5, and even then, no one's going to visit him. Even night 7, people are too horrified to visit a Veteran once he's been confirmed. Not to mention, if it's a Mafia game, people are going to think you're a Godfather. And unlike all the other town killings, except for Jailor, I guess, he can't visit, so he can't protect the important roles, because unlike in Town of Salem, TKs are, I mean, they're just better town protects. Like, they're just better at protecting people. And Mafioso is not going to be able to kill the executive if he goes there and gets a bullet in the head from a vigilante. Or if he gets a bullet in the head from an enforcer, who I'm going to put at the bottom of S tier right now. He's pretty much just a vigilante. He has the slow-firing revolver that does 50 damage on body shot, 100 damage on headshot. Except he only has 6 bullets, while Vigilante has like 18 in total, I think. Though the reason I'd put him in S tier is because he's pretty much a Vigilante from Town of Salem and a Deputy from Town of Salem fused together. Except he only gets 6 bullets at night. Though he gets a 7th bullet that he can use during the day and kill anyone, no matter what, unless they're being protected by a Guardian Angel. Other than that, they just die. Even if it's Pestilence, they die. There is nothing that can survive an Enforcer during the day unless you are being protected by a Guardian Angel. And that's kind of overpowered. Just slightly, very slightly overpowered. Like, that ability alone is just S tier, even though I know Enforcers are infamous for shooting executives and jailers. But that's more of a meme. No, they actually do that a lot, but still, they're very overpowered. Going from very overpowered role to this role probably deserves F tier. Most overpowered weapon in the game. You know, it gets the black gun, just like Veteran and Godfather. Except Mafioso. You see, Mafioso does a little something. He does a little something. He stops Godfather from visiting. And he only has 100 HP. So you have one Mafia killing pretty much, because Godfather's stuck at home. And he has 100 HP. And he's literally the only Mafia killing that dies the Trapper. No, not... Wait. Actually, I think Toxicologist has 100 HP too, but Toxicologist sucks. He's better than Mafioso, though, because Mafioso literally nerfs your best person. Well, okay, maybe your second best person. But no, he is your best person at the time, because you're not going to have an ambusher or whatever. Like, Framer is worthless. So a lot of people like to call Framer the worst Mafia role, and I used to call him the worst Mafia roles too, but Framer is just worthless. He's only worthless. Mafioso is literally less than worthless. He nerfs the Mafia team by existing. He turns your 2 Mafia killings into 1, while Coven is out here having 3 to 4 killing rolls every single time. Mafia out here is having 2 to 1 because of Mafioso. Sure, he gets an overpowered gun, but he nerfs one of your best Mafia roles ever. Godfather is probably the 2nd or 3rd best Mafia role in the game, and he becomes a freaking veteran because of Mafioso. And if people know it's a Mafioso game, they're not going to trust veteran claims, because Godfathers love claiming veteran in that case. But yeah, I mean, hey, he gets a strong gun. He just literally nerfs your Mafia. He could have been an assassin. He could have been an ambusher. Oh my god, he could have been an ambusher. But he could have been a toxicologist. Even a toxicologist is just infinitely better than this man, because toxicologist doesn't make Godfather into a useless role. Okay, well, that Mafioso rant aside, let's go into Executioner. Yeah, he's better than Vampire. He's the best role in the game, other than Pestilence, I guess. He's a free win. You see, Executioner in this game is even more overpowered than in Town of Salem 2, where he got that massive buff. Yeah. You see, Executioner in this game, your target has to die. That's it. Your target just has to die. You don't have to vote them off. You don't have to outlive them. You can die night 1, and your target can die night 7, and you win. Games, Bloxston Mystery usually ends with like 4 or 3 people left in a 15-player game. Your target's gonna die. Not to mention, you can push him. You could push him for roll. He could claim a roll, and you could say that wasn't a result. Or you could just counterclaim him if someone else happened to push him, which is almost always going to get him voted off. And again, you don't have to vote him off. He's just going to die. It's very rare for you to lose as an Executioner unless you get into like a 5-player game. In that case, I mean, just rest in peace you. I was able to push a Jailor when he was my target. He was literally confirmed Jailor, and I pushed him as Witch in a ranked game before. This is a Roblox game. People are gullible. Executioner is so easy to win as, even if your target just doesn't randomly drop dead. Psychic. He's not the worst Town Investigative. He might not even be the 2nd worst. Okay, he might be the 2nd one. I don't know. He might be better than Spy. I know that's a very hot take, maybe, but I don't know. I'll put him in C tier. I'll put him above Veteran because, oh my god, Veteran sucks. So, Psychic in this game is... I've been explaining a lot of these roles in case people don't actually play Bloxston Mystery, but how the heck do I explain Psychic? I'm actually just going to go look at the wiki and take a picture of it to show you. Okay, so you can target yourself, or you can target another person. If you target yourself, it'll give you a random vision of someone, and it will show you what they're doing, except for not really. It won't show you them, it'll show you their outfit. So, if they're wearing rags, sucks to be you. And if they're not wearing rags, I mean, hey man, if they're wearing like Avenger, which is only like 10 of them in existence, I mean, hey man, sucks to be them. That's why you don't actually, no, if you're wearing a rare outfit, people might not even know the name of that outfit. Anyway, if you're playing casual, probably never target yourself, because half of the people in the town are going to be wearing the default rags. And yeah, like, you can pause the video and look at all the results. It's, you know, it's kind of a lot. Though, apparently, when you're targeting yourself, there is a 1% chance that this happened. You get one of these failed messages. I've never seen it myself, but I have seen someone get that last one about someone playing a game, a little Easter egg. Apparently, you have a 1% chance to get these failed messages, which, don't get me wrong, they're funny, they're hilarious. I don't think it'd be as funny if you targeted yourself in a ranked game and you got one of these, and then you got voted off because they'd say, oh, there's no way you got that, that's a 1% chance. I really do want to see one of these messages sometime, though. I saw someone take a picture of seeing this message. I've never seen any of these other messages, though. I did see someone talk about the owl one before, though, but he didn't take a picture. Anyway, yeah, I mean, he is a much worse investigator, especially since he can't visit, which is very dangerous. Is he better than Spy, though? Maybe. Spy is a lot, I don't know, because Psychic, it's a lot easier to get a semi-confirm. But Psychic is just a much worse version of Investigator, usually. Him and Spy act pretty differently, but at the end of the day, they're both pretty much just side grades of each other. They're both relatively mediocre town investigative roles. And of course, he has 100 HP, like most of the TI. Wait, like literally all the TIs, actually. TI means town investigative, by the way. But if you're watching this, you probably play Town of Salem or Bloxston Mystery, so you probably know that. Anyway, Crusader. To anyone that only plays Town of Salem, Crusader is a neutral killing in this game, not a town protect. The reason for that, not a town. Actually, is Crusader a town killing Town of Salem, or is he a town protect? He protects people. Honestly, I don't really care. But yeah, the reason that Crusader is a neutral killing in this game is because Liberator is, I mean, he's pretty much Crusader. So, yeah, he acts a lot differently. He's just better than Outlaw. I'm not going to put him in B tier, though, because he's a neutral killing. He gets 250 HP, and his sword does, like, 50 damage, which, you know, that sounds like a lot, because, like, I mean, heck, Serial Killer does 50 damage, but Crusader hits a lot slower. And when he kills someone, he can execute them, which makes it impossible for them to be healed. I'm pretty sure that's only really useful against someone that has a Guardian Angel. Other than that, it's usually useless because you could just, quote, like, kind of camp it. Yeah, but, you know, it's something. Oh, it's also obviously useful against a doctor. He won't be able to heal himself. You can do it on him and then just leave or whatever. Yeah, I guess that was kind of obvious. But yeah, he has 250 HP, a big sword that does 50 damage. Hits kind of slow. Or at least I've heard it does 50 damage. I've also heard it does 40 damage. I don't know which one's true. Damage in this game sometimes acts a little goofy. I've seen people survive on 1 HP after fighting a veteran, which, you know, if you have 150 HP and his bullets do 50 damage, you shouldn't be able to survive on 1 HP. But damage in this game is sometimes a little weird. Sometimes it just acts differently. Who knows, maybe people have 101 base HP. They don't, because they died of headshots, but whatever. Arsonist. Very fun neutral killing. Not a very good one. Is he better than Outlaw? Maybe. I'll put him above Outlaw, just because he's different. Outlaw is just a carbon copy of, like, all the other neutral killings, but he kind of sucks. Arsonist, he can do something. He just usually can't, because when you douse someone, they're probably going to die before you even get to ignite them. He's a pretty fun role, though, but just not a good one. Sure, sometimes you'll get, like, 4 people doused, and you'll get to ignite all of them, but this blocks the mystery. People die a lot in this game, and the people you douse are probably just gonna die before you get to ignite them. But I'll tell you, it is the most amazing feeling when you douse the Jailor, and then just discreetly remind everyone who the Jailor is and ignite the next morning. Because in this game, unlike in Town of Salem, people that visit an ignited house die too. So you remind everyone that he's the Jailor, and then, like, 5 people visit him, and they all die to fire. Which, that alone makes me think Arsonist actually might be better than Crusader. I don't know. They're a bit interchangeable. Arsonist is still a neutral killing, so he's still bad. But, I don't know. The bait potential is decent with Arsonist. Especially if you are jailed night 1. And then, you just discreetly out the jailer. Just very discreetly do that. But whatever. Next would be... I am fairly certain that is Extortionist, considering that is Puppeteer. I'll put Extortionist below Godfather, honestly. Still an A tier, though. He's very good. He stops you from he stops you from talking, and he pretty much controls your vote. Usually, picking vote with Mafia is the better decision than picking, always vote guilty or always vote innocent. It's not always the best, but especially if there is a revealed executive, which executive is the mayor of this game. You can extort him and then tell him to vote with Mafia. So now, if you have 4 Mafias, and then the executive is extorted, you pretty much have 7 votes. So you're going to be able to vote people up. And that is why you should never reveal as executive if there's a Mafia support in the game. He, of course, has 100 HP, and he can't visit, most of the Mafia... Well, actually, no, he's the only Mafia support, but, all the Mafia deceptions, he can't visit, and he has 100 HP. I think he shows as sus. I don't actually know, which I forgot to mention earlier. Blackmailer is not suspicious. Forger is suspicious. I don't know if Extortionist is. I know Forger is, which is a nerf because Forger is, the best Mafia deception by far, so it's a nerf he needed. Yeah, Extortionist is practically just a 3rd Mafia killing, because he can kill people. So, redirect votes and stuff, but yeah, he is just very, very good Mafia. I can't put him above Godfather, because Godfather is just an essential. He's really good, best weapon in the game, a lot of HP, has a faction, but Extortionist is just amazing. He is a part of the dream team for Mafia, which would be Godfather, Ambusher, Forger, and Extortionist. If you get that team and you lose, I've got nothing to say, because I've got nothing nice to say about that. But anyway, Fugitive, I'll put him in B tier. He's just a middling role. He does 20 to 25 damage. He doesn't do a lot of damage. I know I just said Medusa does a lot. Yeah, no, so Fugitive probably does 15 damage. I don't know exactly how much damage he does. It's just not a lot. He does attack kind of fast, though. The thing about Fugitive is what he does. He's Amnesiac, but he has to find a corpse to actually remember their role. Usually it'll be a corpse he made himself, though. That's why he has a knife that does a little bit of damage. He can go up and stab someone and then steal their role. So, he's mediocre. He's not bad. He's just, he's kind of mediocre. He also has a very annoying glitch where if he makes it to the final 3, literally everyone loses. Very fun glitch to have in ranked, but whatever. I don't know if they've patched that. I haven't played for a month. No, not a month, a week. My God. Whatever. So, I haven't played ranked in a while, though, so I don't know if Fugitive's had that patch, because it is very rare for a Fugitive to make it to the final 3 without stealing a role. So I don't know if it's been patched or not. But yeah, he's just a middle role. I wouldn't say he's as good as Bodyguard, but he's a pretty middling role. Bounty Hunter, S tier. And to anyone that saw my previous tier list, you might be thinking, well, hey, you got 2 town roles in S tier? That is true. Maybe I should put it in A tier. But Bounty Hunter is just peak. It is one of the best town roles by far. It is very marginally worse than Investigator at being a TI. They're both TIs. But, you see, it makes up for that by being the best TP in the game. It is just a perfect town protect. It ragdolls people, and it can spam ragdoll. The second they get up, just shoot them again. You get 8 shotgun blasts that ragdoll people for 5 to 6 seconds, and while they're ragdolled, you can check them. You'll see who they are, and you'll see 4 different roles, but you'll probably already know which role they are, unless they're a Jester or something, because they'd probably already be holding their item out. So he's just very good at catching evils in the act while protecting people. So if there's an outed Jailor, you can go and protect the Jailor, and if a Toxicologist attacks the Jailor, you can shoot that man, check them, you'll know who they are, then just keep shooting them for the rest of the night to keep them ragdolled. And also run away, because you only have 8 shots, and unless you have perfect aim, you're probably not going to keep them ragdolled all night. But yeah. His biggest downside, though, massive downside, is he only has a limited amount of uses. 4 uses, actually. But he's just such a useful role that even with only 4 uses, this man is just amazing. Also, games usually don't last to night 5. They do sometimes, but it's kind of rare. But you might think, hey man, didn't you just say veteran waste all their alerts, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but the problem there was more so that after he's been confirmed as veteran, no one ever visits him. And you might think, hey man, isn't that how it is in Town of Salem? Yes, but in this game, when you visit someone, you don't have to enter the house. If that man said something that sounds like a bait, you could, like, reevaluate your life choices after you visited him. That's what I do when I'm a Jester, and I have avoided a veteran barely by doing that a couple times. Anyway, Consig, yeah, he's D tier. First D tier, he's just Investigator, but for Mafia. And, like, you might think, oh, well, I mean, he's pretty useful. He'll find people. He's literally, I mean, there's no point in him doing that. This isn't, like, sure, he can find the spy, and then if you have a forger or a janitor, you could tell them, hey man, this guy's the spy, one of the Mafia killings should go kill him tomorrow, and you're like, clean him or whatever, and then you can claim spy or whatever. But Consig, his main use is being an extra pair of legs to find the Jailor. Because with Consig, you have 3 people visiting instead of 2. I mean, you might only have 2 people visiting if you have a Mafioso. So yeah, I mean, Consig's main use, in my opinion, is finding the biggest threats, which would be Jailor, and stuff like Lookout that hasn't claimed, and Executive that hasn't revealed. But it's mostly Jailor. Like, it's mostly going to be useful to finding Jailor, because that means there's 3 of you looking for Jailor, or just looking for anyone in general, I guess. But let's be honest, you want to kill that Jailor as soon as possible. And I mean, you could fake Investigator as Consig. I have seen ranked players hard push Investigators in games that had Consigs, though. No one ever trusted an Investigator claim. There were 4 TI slots in that ranked game, and the Jailor hard pushed the Investigator because he claimed Investigator. I was the Consig, by the way. We won that game because, you know, the Jailor hard pushed an Investigator in a 4 TI game. Yeah, we won that game pretty easily. Anyway, that's kind of going off the rails right now. Potion Master, yeah, he's B tier. He's just completely mid. His Investigate potion is the most worthless thing to ever exist. I heard that it got buffed recently, and he can actually visit people now. So he can actually fake Investigator. The thing is, I haven't tested it since I heard it, and I'm not about to test it in a ranked game because I don't want to be that guy that throws for my Coven team because of how worthless the Investigate potion is. Or it was. Healing potion, no one ever trusts a freaking doctor claim in a Coven game. Healing is almost always worthless. Like, it's very niche uses. Like, if you're a Coven and your witch's guardian angel got poisoned by your poisoner, some crap like that, or the fugitive got poisoned as he was stealing Poisoner's Row, it's just, healing potion is usually only useful in very niche situations like that. Other than that, it's, no one ever trusts a doctor claim. His damage potion, I don't even know how much damage this man does. He does like 20 damage. He does not do a lot of damage, but he does a decent amount of damage. He only has 100 HP though, so he can die to a Trapper, which kind of sucks. Sucks a lot actually, because Trapper kind of sucks. But Potion Master, now, if he was a Mafia killing, he would be hot garbage. But because he's a Coven killing, or Coven support, he's not that bad. Because Coven has a lot of killing rolls. So you being a relatively mediocre killing roll doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. At all, actually. It's not like you're really hurting the Coven, because your Coven's kind of stacked already. Up next is Jailor. I'll put him at the top of A tier. He gets a confirmed kill. He can very easily investigate people. Of course, if he jails a neutral killing or like a pirate or something night one, he just kind of dies. But other than that, I mean, his kill is... It's the second most powerful in the game, only behind Jester's.
but he can do it multiple times. The reason I say it's behind Jester is because he can't kill Pestilence or Werewolf. I mean, I guess he could kill Pestilence if he glitched and got the Pestilence in the jail. Like this picture right here. If this happened to Pestilence, he'd probably die. Werewolf, I don't actually think Werewolf dies in jail though, since he acts like Retributionist or whatever. He's literally just immortal during the night. Which I don't know if Retributionist even dies to jail or not, because he kind of goes flip-flop with that. He goes from being able to die to not being able to die to being able to die, to the point that I don't know if it's a glitch or not. I don't know if he's supposed to be able to die or not, because it has swapped so many times that I don't know which one is the glitch. Either way, yeah, Jailor is a very important town role. Usually the main target, honestly. Like, sure, Executive is a threat, but Jailor can jail Executive will protect him. So it's usually just better to attack Jailor, unless you have two killing roles. But even then, if I'm like Mafia and I'm an assassin and a Godfather, usually I'm going to say we should both jump the Jailor in case one of us gets jailed. Because jailing in this game, unlike in Town of Salem, happens in the midway point of the night. So you pick what you're going to do in the midway point, and then in the, like, once you reach, before the midway point, you pick what you do, and then after the midway point, you're doing what you do. So you don't know if you're going to get jailed or not until you've already picked what you're doing. They had to add that because obviously you can do stuff during the night, and, well, I guess they didn't actually have to add that. Jailor could have been able to jail during the day like Retributionist does, but whatever. It's a Jailor buff. So, just a little tip, by the way. If all the Mafia or Coven are dead, and the only evil left is a werewolf, just don't jail anyone. Unless there's a revealed Executive, then jail him. Sure, actually, yeah, you should jail him. Don't jail anyone that's not confirmed, though, because you insta-die if you jail Werewolf. Newsflash. Anyway, Serial Killer. He's the only neutral killing I'm putting in B tier. I mean, he's the second best neutral killing. The only reason Vampire is the best neutral killing is because he's not a neutral killing. He's a faction disguised as a neutral killing. Like, this man is an entire faction, just all, like, in a trench coat, acting like they're one person. But Serial Killer, he's just all around decent. He 200 HP, does 50 damage a hit, and hits really fast. He just melts pretty much everything. He hits really fast. He also runs really fast. I think he has, like, tied for the second fastest run speed. I'm pretty sure he's slower than Assassin. Don't completely quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he is. Also, I don't know how fast Werewolf is, actually. He cleans Jailor if Jailor jails him and doesn't execute. But, all the neutral killings do that, except for Arsonist and Vampire. But, yeah, I mean, he's just all around a good role. I mean, he's good for a neutral killing. He's still a neutral killing, though, so he kind of sucks. But for a neutral killing, he's good. Also, man, I didn't mention this earlier. I probably should have, because I've been explaining for people that don't play Blocks of Mystery. In this game, if you make it to the final 3 as a neutral killing, you win. Unless there's like a Pestilence still alive or something like that, or another neutral killing if you're playing a minigame, you just auto-win in Final 3. This is because neutral killing kind of sucks in this game, even more so than in Town of Salem. So, they need all the buffs they can get. Voting power is just broken in this game. Neutral killings don't get that. That's why Vampire, the only one with voting power, is the only one that doesn't auto-win in Final 3 if there's only one of them. He's literally just a faction. He auto-wins when he gets majority, which is also another thing I didn't mention earlier. Now, Plaguebearer, this dude, I think he has as much HP as Bodyguard, but he might have a little bit more, so he has like 400 to 500 HP. He just wants to infect people. Now, his infections are not as overpowered as in Town of Salem at infecting people. Once he's infected someone, they don't infect the people they visit. Sadly. The only way for an infection to spread via that is for someone to visit an infected person, not the other way around. So, if you infect 5, and then 10 visits 5, 10 will be infected. However, if you infect 5, and then 5 visits 11, 11 will not be infected unless he visits an infected person. And to infect someone, you have to find their body during the night, run up to them and press F, or they have to visit an infected person, obviously. And once you've infected everyone, you become Pestilence. That's just that's literally just Plaguebearer. He's a pretty average role. Not the hardest to win as. In fact, I'd say he's actually a little bit... I don't know, he's actually a little bit harder to win than Fugitive, because Fugitive, you can usually just steal a town roll, and town's overpowered. But yeah, once you've become Pestilence, you literally just win. Like, literally. Framer. Now, is Framer worse than Mafioso? It's really hard for me to tell you that. Like, I cannot in good faith say that Framer is worse than Mafioso, because Mafioso nerfs the Mafia. Framer does nothing. That's all it does. It has 100 HP. Can't visit. It frames people. Frames don't even work on Investigator, I'm pretty sure, unless they fixed that, which would be pretty cool. Frames last more than one night now. That's a pretty cool buff. Framer is not suspicious, yeah. Just like Consig and pretty much all the Mafias except for Forger. And also the Mafia Killings, obviously. He's useless. He's a waste of a slot. The only point of Framer is to be voting power. He's just voting power. He gives you one more vote. Oh, and also, I remember I heard someone call him an emergency Godfather, and that's the perfect title for Framer. He's an emergency Godfather. If the Godfather dies, you just gotta hope the Framer becomes the Godfather and not the other Mafia deception or whatever. But yeah, like, he's just worthless, but at least he's not actively harming Mafia by existing, like Mafioso does. Nexus Survivor, yeah, I'll put him above Fugitive. Nah, I'll put him below Bodyguard. He's easy to win as, but evils in this game are scumbags. They love attacking survivors. Also, you know, there are one or two grandmasters in this game that I'm not gonna name names, but they're pretty bad at the game, and they hard push survivors whenever it comes to it, even if it means making town literally lose. And sadly, that's become a bit of a trend in Ranked, just hard pushing survivors, because this isn't Town of Salem where people fake survivor all the time. It is a little hard to fake survivor in this game. But yeah, evils love attacking survivor for no reason, even though it makes literally no sense. Survivor could be a free vote for them. And townies love pushing survivors for no reason as well, because haha, it's funny. So survivor should be an S tier. It should be literally a free win, but I mean, it's just like the community just hates survivors for no reason. Anyway, Executive. He's a role that's kind of mediocre. Yeah, you know, he's overpowered, but he's only mediocre because people just don't know how to use him. As Executive, you should be constantly voting for role. You should constantly vote, just like Mayor in Town of Salem. Constantly vote. And also, you should probably reveal early. Unlike Mayor in Town of Salem, Executive can't just like 1v1 an evil. Evils in this game win by having majority. So if Executive makes it to Final Four with two Mafias and it's Executive and Vigilante, you just auto lose. You can't vote them because evils win by having majority, because evils suck in this game. So, you know, it's a buff they needed. So Executive is literally just worse than Mayor. I mean, I guess you can whisper him, you can heal him as Doctor, and vampires cannot bite him. So those are all pretty decent over Mayor, but meh. That's why you should always reveal early unless there is a confirmed evil that is getting pushed, because then you don't need to reveal the vote, or there is a Mafia support. Do not reveal if there's a Mafia support. Do not do that. Anyway, yeah, he has 100 HP, he can't visit, he gets 3 votes instead of 1, once he's revealed. Before he reveals, he does not get 3 votes instead of 1, sadly. Anyway, Vigilante, yeah, he's A tier. I'll put him below Godfather. He's just a town role with extra HP. He has a revolver that has 18 bullets in total that carry over through the nights. Does 50 damage on body shot, 100 damage on headshot. Some people think he does more than 50. I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't think so, though. But either way, he's a pretty good role. Very good, actually. Literally just a better TP than all the TPs. Just like how Bounty Hunter is a better TP than all the TPs. The TPs in this game are very mediocre. Because, like, Vigilante can just go to Jailor's house. He doesn't have to shoot Jailor like he would in Town of Salem if he did that. Go to Jailor's house and then shoot anyone he sees at Jailor's house, other than, obviously, the Jailor. He might end up shooting a townie if he does that, though, but, you know, I mean, better safe than sorry. Not really. Don't actually do that. But, yeah, up next is Doctor. I'll put him at the bottom of B tier. He is worse than Bodyguard, I'd say, but he's not completely useless. I have gotten a couple clutch plays as a Doctor before. In fact, let me just play one of them real quick. Yeah, this one was actually pretty fun to see. Like, that Vigilante kind of sucked. Yeah, Doctor can sometimes just get clutch moments, like right there. Especially since you can still heal while running around. And then the Vigilante proceeded to kill the assassin, and I managed to heal everyone, even though one of them was a neutral killing. Anyway, Doctor, he's pretty decent. He can get clutch moments every now and then, but usually he's pretty worthless. Usually the most useful get out of him is healing a poison person, which is fine. But the poison rolls kind of suck anyway, so, well, other than Pestilence, I guess. Which, again, I forgot to mention. When you become Pestilence as Plaguebearer, you poison, like, a couple people every night. Pretty overpowered, especially since you've already won. Up next is Magician. I'll put him at the top of B tier. He's a very good role. Actually, I'll put him at the very bottom of A tier. Very good role. He cleans people. He does a moderate amount of damage. He can turn quote-unquote invisible, which I always called worthless. But I actually missed a Magician as Werewolf before because he turned invisible. That was very sad on my part, but whatever. He gets an attack that can knock someone the heck out for like 5 seconds. I don't know how long the cooldown on that is, but it's longer than 5 seconds at the very least. And then he gets his normal attack, which does a decent amount of damage, and when you kill someone, you turn them into a chicken or a chair. Which also cleans them, which is why it's so good. It cleans people. That alone makes it really good. People like to call it trash because they compare it to Medusa, because it is just a worse version of Medusa. But it's still really good, even on its own. Sadly, it does replace Medusa. If you get a Magician, that means you're not going to have a Medusa unless you're playing like all any or something, but I mean in ranked. Yeah, he's just a really good role. He's obviously worse than Medusa, but he's still a good role. I don't know how much HP he has, but it's not 100 at the very least, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, next is Investigator. I'll put him in A tier below Jester. He's just insanely useful. He finds evils. This man finds evils. Like, he gets the 4 rolls. And the person's not going to claim one of those 4 rolls unless they get super lucky. And then he just finds the evil. If he claimed the evil, if he found the evil, they claim a fake roll. It's not one of those rolls. Boom, you just got the evil. That's why he is the best town investigator, aside from Bounty Hunter, in my opinion. Some people think Investigator is better than Bounty Hunter because, Bounty Hunter. But the thing about Bounty Hunter is, though, Bounty Hunter is the second best TI and the best TP in one. Like, that just makes him such a good role. Like, he's not as good at investigating as Investigator is. But the fact that he's just such a good TP as well just makes me say Bounty Hunter is better. Anyway, Investigator has 100 HP. He can visit, obviously. So, that's pretty useful. And he's very good at confirming evils. Way better than another TI that exists. Anyway, Retributionist. I'll put him at the bottom of A tier. He's like Necromancer, but he can't use cleaned rolls. He's immortal 3 nights in a row. If you had asked me when I had like 50 wins or less, I would have 100% said that Retributionist was the best role in the game. Or best town role in the game. Obviously not the best role in the game. Now, I think he is worse than Vigilante. No, he's better than Vigilante. He's definitely worse than Jailor. And he's probably worse than Investigator on average. Like, sure, if an Investigator dies, Retri would be more useful because he's just an immortal Investigator. But the RNG aspect is just... It can be horrible for you. But the fact that he's immortal 3 nights in a row is just amazing. He definitely belongs in A tier or higher. I guess some people might put him in S tier, but I definitely would not. Next is Amnesiac. I'll put him just above Fugitive. I freaking guess. He gets a little bit more control on what he picks, usually. He also cannot remember cleaned rolls, and he cannot remember forged rolls, obviously. So, yeah. I think there was a glitch back then where he could remember forged rolls, which, if that's the case, that's, like, just absolutely hilarious, but whatever. He gets 100 HP, he can't visit. That's really all there is to say about Amnesiac. He's Amnesiac. We all know what Amnesiac does. He remembers a dead role and becomes that role. Forger, no, he's A tier. In fact, I'm going to put him above Investigator, actually. Sure, Forger relies on, your fellow Mafia actually killing the person you forged, kind of. I mean, if he just dies from anything else, he'd still get forged, but he's just such a good role. The misinformation plus the free claim space. Because your Mafia knows what that person's real role is, while everyone else does not. So you get claim space, plus you get misinformation. So you can forge someone as a Mafia. This isn't Town of Salem where it says what killed them. So it's not going to say this Mafia was killed by a Mafia. No, it's just going to say they're dead and they're a Mafia. So people are just going to think, oh, a Mafia died. A town killing probably got it, or a neutral killing probably got it, or something. I don't know. And it's going to make people think there's one less Mafia in the world, which is just massive. Especially since it gives you claim space. Unless it's all in, I guess. Forger actually is hot garbage in all any. Same with Janitor. I mean, unless you, like, clean something like a sidekick that can't dupe, then sure. In other words, their unique role. Different terminology in Bloxston mystery. Like, if you clean a unique role, or a role that can't dupe, then sure, I guess it'd be kind of useful in all any. But other than that, I mean, it would be worthless in all any. But I'm talking about in general, not like in a specific mini game. And of course, he has 100 HP. He can't visit, which those kind of suck. But he's just such a good role. Oh, and of course, he's like the only Mafia deception that shows as suspicious, which is a nerf that he kind of deserves because he is overpowered. Now, up next is by far the worst town investigative. I'm going to put him down here with the Mafia investigative. So many evil roles show as not suspicious. Almost all of the neutral killings show as not suspicious. There are a couple of them that do show as suspicious, but most of them show as not suspicious. Godfather is not suspicious with a Mafioso. Most of the Mafia deceptions are not suspicious. Consig is not suspicious. Potion Master is not suspicious. Witch is suspicious, I believe, but I don't think Necromancer is. I mean, there's just so many roles that are not suspicious, that are evil as heck. And then Arsonist is literally just a better framer, by the way. Or I completely forgot to mention Arsonist. When he douses someone, they show as suspicious. Like, did they really have to make a counter, framer, a counter to one of the worst roles in the game? Like, I don't think Sheriff needed a counter. It already sucks. But it got a counter anyway, making it even worse somehow. Especially since Arsonist is just a better framer by far. But yeah, I mean, Sheriff just sucks. It's the second worst town role in my opinion. And I'll be getting into the worst town role later. Anyway, there's Puppeteer. Yeah, he sucks. I'll put him at the bottom of D tier. Literally worthless. By the way, on my previous tier list, I put this man in D tier. I should have put him at the top of S tier at the time because of a glitch that I was not aware of until after that video, where Puppeteer, instead of controlling the vote of, the person that he controls, like making them not able to vote, he made it so that no one could vote. Town likes voting. Town really likes voting because evils have more power during the night. Puppeteer was able to make it so that literally no one could vote no matter what. That was a fun glitch to see. Not really. It was not fun at all. But it was funny. But yeah, no, he's back to being pretty worthless. He can control what someone says during the day, but that person's just going to spam crouch so everyone will know they're controlled. He can make them not vote, which is useful, very useful, especially if you use it against the executive. He just sucks, though. Like, I could put him in C tier. I'm just not going to, especially since he can turn into a witch. Which you would think, hey, man, shouldn't he be like in B tier then? Because witch is amazing, but it's a different role. Puppeteer is so bad. If you get Puppeteer, just turn into Witch Knight 1. Do not be a Puppeteer. Puppeteer sucks. Like, Puppeteer is garbage. He has 100 HP as well, and I don't know if he shows up suspicious or not. I know, okay, so Witch is suspicious, I'm pretty sure. Necromancer is not suspicious, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about Puppeteer. Genuinely don't know. Also, Necromancer might show suspicious if he's like controlling like a Godfather or something. He can't control a Godfather. I don't know why I use that as an example, but whatever. Anyway, Janitor, yeah, he's like in the middle of B tier. I'll put him above Amnesiac. I'll put him above Survivor, actually. He's like pretty much the top of B tier. He just cleans people. That just gives you claim space. He's a worse version of Forger by far, but that'll, like, giving claim space is just insane. Like, I cannot stress enough how important claim space is as an evil. That's why casual is literally harder than ranked as an evil. Because there's no claim space in casual. The role list is questionable at best. In ranked, there's so much more claim space because of all the random town slots. In casual, that doesn't really exist. Anyway, yeah, claim space is just broken. Unless it's all any, of course, like I mentioned earlier, but I'm not talking about all any. Assassin, I'll put him at the bottom of A tier. He's a lot better than he was during my previous tier list. I probably put him in B tier last time. He's immune to traps now. I'm pretty sure that's the only change. But that's really good. He doesn't die to traps anymore, because I'm pretty sure he only has 100 HP. He doesn't alert you if he's the only one that's visiting you, which is also very good, because, like, I mean, I have died to Assassin a couple times by checking Discord after, like, I saw no one visited me. And then I come back and see I died to an Assassin. Kind of sucks. But it is pretty good, the element of surprise. And also, of course, the fact that, once again, he does ignore traps. That's insane. If you know there is a trapper, the Assassin can go, kill the trapper. As the Godfather goes and kills the freaking Jailor. Why that specifically? I mean, I guess the Assassin can attack the Jailor and the Godfather can attack the Trapper. It doesn't really matter. Either way, the Godfather has like a 50-50 chance of getting trapped. And even if he walks into a self-trap with the Trapper, he would survive. So yeah, I guess the Assassin should attack the Jailor in that situation. But yeah, another reason for Trapper being a very bad role. Having a direct counter by one of the few roles that would die to it. Why did they keep nerfing, like, the worst roles? Anyway, yeah, Assassin, his sword does, like, 20 damage. I don't know. I think he's the fastest role in the game. He's super fast. He keeps that speed in a pirate duel, so, he can run away. He's just really fast. Good sword. Doesn't alert. And he ignores traps. All around, he's not bad. He's a lot better than he used to be, at least. He was pretty garbage back then. And then there's Guardian Angel. I'll put him above Forger, below Jester. He only gets 2 protects. After he uses his 2 protects, though, he doesn't have his sword. He can still visit you, but he'll just have 100 HP. So, meh. But when he protects you, it's pretty much impossible to die because you get healed. Of course, there are a couple things that could kill you. And also, Guardian Angel gets a sword that acts exactly like Bodyguard's shield. It can stun. It does like 2 to 5 damage. Guardian Angel also has like 1,000 HP. So, there's that. And when you're protected, you cannot be voted. And he is the only one that can stop an Enforcer from killing someone. If you are protected from the Guardian Angel, you will not be shot by the Enforcer tomorrow. You cannot be. Because while you are protected, you cannot be voted or killed by Enforcer. Anyway, up next is Werewolf. Now, on my previous list, I put him like at the bottom. Werewolf has gotten a massive buff since then. Werewolf no longer has RNG. I'm going to put him above Arsonist. He's not the worst neutral killing anymore. Like, he's just not. He got a huge buff. Back then, it was possible for in the first 5 nights for there to only be 2 full moons because of how the RNG worked. It was garbage. But now, you are confirmed a full moon on night 2, night 4, and above. Which means you're not going to have a full moon night 1 and night 3. That's it. Which is so much better than it used to be. Now the only main problem Werewolf has is he's fat. Not literally fat. He's very muscular. I just mean he's got a very, very big model. He cannot do parkour properly. So in some of the houses, he just can't get you if you're hiding up there. which is a little bit of a problem, just a little bit, but other than that, he ambushes you, which is just insane. Ambushing in this game, since I got to the werewolf before the ambusher, the only two roles that ambush. So when you ambush someone in this game, it is not like Town of Salem. Not at all. It is way better. I mean, way more overpowered. You do not visit. I mean, like, you don't wait, like, in the mud room or whatever for the place. Like, if you attack 5, you're not going to be in 5's mud room. Unless 5 stayed home. You're going to go wherever 5 went. So if you attack 5 and 5 goes to 7's house, you will go to 7's mud room, which is the room outside of the house, and you will find 5 there. You will be able to kill 5 there, and then you will be able to enter 7's house because 5 visited 7. Werewolf does the same thing as Ambusher. He ambushes. Except Werewolf has 10,000 HP and he does 75 damage a hit. And he's also pretty fast. Werewolf, not a bad role. I'd still say he's worse than Serial Killer because Serial Killer can attack every night. Werewolf still cannot attack night 1 and night 3. So I just cannot put him higher than Serial Killer. Even though ambushing is super overpowered. I just cannot put him above Serial Killer. Because being able to attack the first 3 nights is very important, because this game doesn't last that long usually. But if you're in a long game as Werewolf, he will be better than Serial Killer, but only if you're in a really long game, which doesn't happen all that often. Games are usually pretty short for Bloxston Mystery. Now, Spy, I'll put him next to Psychic. Like I said earlier, he's literally just a side grade to Psychic, like literally just a side grade. Like, they don't do the same thing, but they are pretty much just as good as each other. Spy tracks someone, and he sees kind of what happens to them, whether they die, whether they attack someone, or whether they kill someone. That one person they're spying on. They don't see who Mafia visits or who Coven visits like they do in Town of Salem. They just see what happens to the one person they're bugging. And there's a 50% chance that it will tell the person that they're being bugged. So if they're an evil and they see that they're being bugged, they're not going to kill anyone, let's be honest. Unless they're stupid, or unless they know who the spy is. In that case, I mean, that'd be pretty funny, but, like, they're just, like, Spy in this game is a little bit mediocre, honestly. In fact, I do think Psychic is usually better, especially because of that 50% chance to show that they're being bugged. Of course, that 50% chance does mean that Spy can be confirmed easier. Like, it's easier to confirm yourself as Spy. Unless someone visits the Psychic, because Psychic gets some giant purple glowing thing on their head for like the first 5 seconds. So anyone that visits them will know they're a Psychic. Oh my god, there's a fly right here. But yeah, Spy also has 100 HP. Yeah, as you would imagine. He's a TI, he's just kind of decent. Also, he got buffed not that long ago, though, that when someone is killed, it will show what killed them. If it's a vampire, anyway. I don't know about the other ones because I haven't seen them since that buff, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Trapper, worst town roll by far. It's just not even a comparison. Trapper gets 100 HP. He can self-trap himself twice, which does 100 damage. Do you know what a self-trap can kill? If your answer is town rolls, then yeah. Investigator, he dies to self-trap. Bounty Hunter, he dies to self-trap. Sheriff, he dies to self-trap. Trapper, when he self-traps, he has a hidden passive where he makes it 90% more likely for a town investigator to visit him. Most of the evils in the game survive self-trap. There are a handful of evils that can visit that don't, like... No, there are only a handful of evils that can die to self-trap. Like Potion Master, which is a mediocre role. And, poor Juggernaut. Anyway, a human werewolf can die to self-trap. Zero kill Juggernaut can die to self-trap. Mafioso can die to self-trap. Seeing a little bit of a trend here with the garbage rolls. As far as good rolls that can die to self-trap, Bounty Hunter, peak roll. Investigator, peak roll. Doctor doesn't really die to self-trap because he'll self-heal, but if he doesn't have a self-heal, he will die. And even if he does have a self-heal, I mean, he just wasted a self-heal because of a self-trap. Now, as far as the evil rolls up here that die to self-trap, none of them. None of the ones B tier and higher die to self-trap. I mean, except for, like, neutral rolls, but those don't really count as evil. Vampire doesn't die to self-trap. Vampire is a very frail role, and he doesn't die to self-trap. The highest role up here that dies to self-trap is Potion Master. Like, self-trap just doesn't kill evils, and when it does, it's worthless evils like Consig. Maybe Mafioso. Ooh, you literally just buffed the Mafia, because now they have their Godfather able to visit. And then don't even get me started on trapping someone else. It does like 15 damage or something. It might do 20 to 25. When you trap someone else, there is like a 90% chance you are going to trap like a TP. So let's say this is the Jailor. You decide, hey, I'm going to trap the Jailor. You end up trapping the Vigilante who visited the Jailor to protect him. Vigilante falls on his face because you just broke his legs. And now the Godfather walks in and kills the Vigilante because the Vigilante has broken legs. And then he just walks up and kills the Jailor. That's always what happens with Trapper. He always just screws town over. He's just such a bad role. A very nice buff would be making town investigators immune to Trapper, but who knows, maybe they'd say that's too overpowered, even though that would put him in C tier, honestly. He's just such a bad role. He's the town killer. He's more notorious for killing towns than freaking Enforcer is, and Enforcer is famous for shooting revealed executives. Okay, Juggernaut. Yeah, I'll put him... Should I put him in D tier? Realistically, I'll put him... I'll put him in D tier because he is the worst neutral killing. I should put him into the bottom of C tier, but I will put him in D tier. This man dies to self-trap. What more can I say? This man loses a fight to Vampire, one of the weakest roles in the game in killing power. What else can I say? This man at 0 kills will lose a fight to a Fugitive sometimes. He is so weak at 0 kills. And sure, he starts rapidly powering up. Once he's gotten 2 kills, he becomes pretty strong. Unless you're lucky, getting 2 kills as Juggernaut is going to take you a hot minute, usually. And he's just such a slow snowballing guy that he'll usually only be very strong at like night 3 or night 4 or night 5. Bloxston mystery games don't last that long. That's the main problem with Werewolf, that he doesn't have the full moon on night 1 and night 3. When games don't last that long, so going multiple nights with very low killing power kinda sucks. And don't even, like, this man has 100 HP at 0 kills. That's pathetic. That's as much as a sheriff. Sure, at 3 kills, I don't know how much HP he has because they don't really tell us, but at 3 kills, he does 100 damage with a single hit. At, like, 13 kills, he does over 2,000, so he would one-shot a Pestilence, because exponential growth and whatnot. At 0 kills, he does, like, 15 to 20 damage. It's not a lot. Really, it's just not a lot. I think he does 12.5, actually, and he doubles every time. I don't know. Anyway, he's just horrible. Genuinely. Liberator has like 150 or something. I don't know how much HP he has. It's a relatively mediocre amount. He is a mediocre town killing, but I'll put him at the top of B tier just because he's a town role that can visit and has killing power. That's really good. That's just really good to have, even if he is the worst visiting town killing role. I say visiting because veteran. His hits do like 25 damage, around that much. I don't know how much it does. Again, a lot of this stuff I don't know because it's just such a random knowledge to have. Like, I asked the Grand Master how much damage Medusa does, and they said 25. Apparently, like, they put apparently after they said 25. So, I mean, even a Grand Master doesn't know. I mean, come on, man. Why do you think I would know how much all these guys do? Anyway, Liberator, he does a slightly mediocre amount of damage, but he does enough damage. Like, he can beat a Mafioso in a fight. He probably won't, but he can, especially if you both enter at the same time. His shield can block bullets. It's a very small shield, though. If he visits himself, he gets a decent amount of HP. I don't know how much. Probably plus 200 or plus 300. Let me go check. Plus 200. He only gets 300 HP if he stays home. Wow, that kind of sucks. But just by virtue of being a visiting town killing role, he's pretty good. A lot of people like to call him bad, but he's a visiting town killing role. That makes him good. Just because of how useful that is for town. Now, Witch, I'll put Witch right below Jailor. We all know what Witch does, unless you're a casual player. He just controls someone during the night. His real body stays at home, though. and he doesn't alert people that visit him. When people visit him, it tells them that no one's home. Or, well, it doesn't tell them anything. In other words, no one's home. So if someone visits him and sees him just standing in the closet, they'll know he's a witch. So watch out for that. There's just nothing better as a witch than finding the Jailor Night 1. Just confirmed kills for days. Or I guess Night 2, considering. But, like, it's so good, because Jailor has a confirmed kill. And then if you control him as a witch, no one's going to kill this man unless the neutral killing randomly finds this guy. Or, I guess, if the Vigilante decides to take one for the team and shoot the Jailor who's about to execute the Executive. But that's... I mean... If anyone ever claims town killing in a Coven game, you just jump that man as witch. Free killing power. Up next is Lookout. Yeah, he's just a really good town investigative, I guess. He just tells what happens in a house. I mean, that's all he does. But that's very useful to have, because he can tell everyone that visits him. Unless he's viewing, like, the Advanced Wooden House, where the camera is upstairs for some reason, so he can't see anything as the Jailor gets murdered by the serial killer. He doesn't get to see what happened. Yeah, that's very fun. It'd be nice if that camera was fixed anytime soon. It's been here for over a year. It's very cool. Anyway, yeah, I mean, just seeing everyone that visits someone, it's very useful. That's all I can really say about Lookout. He has 100 HP, can't visit, that's it. Next is Medium, 100 HP, can't visit, as you'd expect. Update recently, Spectres can spawn in as Ghost. He can see the Ghost, even during the day. Yeah, I'll put him in B tier. Very useful. He would be in A tier, but Ghosts usually leave, so... Yeah, this is a Roblox game. Ghosts leave. A lot, even in ranked games. But if there's a Ghost in ranked, and they didn't leave, and their town... I mean, you just win. Straight up. The Ghost can spectate. You win. Good job. So, yeah, Medium can be very broken, but it's a Roblox game. Ghosts never stay. Ever. Realistically. It's very rare. And then usually when they do stay, there's not a Medium. Anyway, next is Poisoner. Poisoner, I'll put him around the same I put him last time. I'll put him above Amnesiac, though. Decent. No, I'll put him slightly above Potion Master. He's just decent. Just worse than Toxicologist, though, because his bullets suck. Like, genuinely horrible. They go flying towards the wall half the time. So it's harder to poison large groups of people. And also, Toxicologist got buffed recently, like 4 months ago. So Toxicologist is just straight up better. When you're poisoned, you cannot vote the next day, and then you'll die during the night if you're not healed. So poisoning is pretty useful, especially the not being able to vote part, I guess. Toxicologist, literally just the same role, but he has a knife. Easier to hit multiple people with the knife, though. I guess Poisoner will be better if you're fighting someone who's, like, hiding up on the chandelier in Leader's hideout. Like, 7 or 8 people have that house, though, so... I mean, that's pretty situational. Anyway, up next is Distractor. I'll put him at the top of C tier. Distractor, very, very, very useful, though. People never use it correctly, though, so I can't really put it higher. People distract Vigilantes all the time. That's why you gotta keep notes when you're Distractor. He is the second most important role to keep notes as. Enforcer's the most important because you don't want to shoot the Jailor. But yeah, like, you don't want to distract the Vigilante that claimed Vigilante Day 2. Like, imagine you're at night 7, you forgot what that guy claimed, you're like, huh, what is he? And you distract him, and he's like, boy, I was a confirmed Vigilante night 2. I don't know what impersonation I was just trying to do there, but yeah, I mean, you just made town lose. That's just Distractor in a nutshell. But when you know who the evil is, he is so good. So yeah, I'll put him in B tier. I'll put him in the middle of B tier, actually. Now I'll put him above Executive. Now I'll put him below Executive. He's literally just in the same boat as Executive, where it's just such a good role, but it's ruined by the player, sadly. Up next is Ambusher. Yeah, no, S tier. Below Executioner, above Medusa. He ambushes people. I explained what ambushing does earlier. If 5 visits 7 and you ambush 5, you go to 7's house and attack 5 there. You go to 7's mud room, not 5's mud room. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. But yeah, okay, so yeah, 5 visits 7 and you attack 5. You go to 7's mudroom and attack 5 there. Then you enter 7's house and you kill 7. I guess technically you go to 5's mudroom, but that's not really what happens. Anyway, he has over 100 HP. He has like 150 HP. His sword does like 35 damage. He does like 30 damage, 40 damage. He's not that fast, but he's pretty strong. He does stun the person he ambushes, because, of course, why not make him even more overpowered? He's just a confirmed kill. And that's really good. A confirmed kill. Godfather could go to Tin's house. No one's at Tin's house. No kill that night. Have fun. Ambusher go to Tin's house. Unless Tin was freaking jailed or something, Tin is going to die. Unless Ambusher dies, but whatever. And then with Forger, like, that is the dream combo there. Forger will, like, forge 7, and Ambush will ambush 7, and boom. Ambusher just killed 7, just obviously. Now, Pirate, yeah, I'll put him... He also would probably go in S tier. I'll put him below Ambusher. He duels people. He's pretty much Ambusher, but, like, turned up to 11. But he doesn't have a faction. And also, he can be screwed so hard. He can be screwed over so badly. But Pirate, he has like 200 HP. When he duels someone, the person he duels only has 100 HP. Yeah, that's just not fair. Especially if the other person gets the flintlock that does 100 damage on headshot and has horrible accuracy. You'd have to somehow get 2 headshots on the Pirate. Have fun with that. Genuinely. He can get the cutlass, I'm not even going to pronounce the name of that sword, or the, because, man, my pronunciation sucks, or the flintlock. So, yeah, he can get one of those 3 weapons. The flintlock's horrible, but if he gets either of the other 2 swords, he just wins, because the other person only has 100 HP. He just runs up to, unless they're like an assassin with a flintlock, I guess, they can just run away the whole time, and I guess keep trying to shoot him, but the accuracy sucks, and it barely has any ammo. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it then. I feel like this is a better tier list than the last time, at the very least. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. This video was long as heck. This is gonna be very annoying making timestamps for. Oh man, that's genuinely painful. Also, watch them release a roll in like a week from now. Like the last time I made a tier list, they made 2 rolls like a week later. Yeah, whatever. That was kind of my own fault for making it like right before a new season.